Buying a home is a major transaction that can seem super complicated when you don't understand the lingo. If you don't understand the terms that all these professionals around you are using.
I get to it first, I got you mad. I guess that when I get to it last. Get it that I'm never going back. Get it that I'm never going back. Going up, going up, going up, going up, going up.
What's going on? My name is Dan Wheeler, your local Montgomery County, Maryland real estate agent with Keller Williams Capital Property. If you're looking to become a homeowner, it's important that you know these terms and how they relate to the current market so that you feel confident throughout the whole process. But before we get into that, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this content with anybody that you might think is dope. Hit that notifications button so that you're the first person to know when I drop new content. So let's get straight into it. Appraisal. An appraisal is a report highlighting the estimated value of the property completed by a qualified third party. Lenders rely on appraisals to validate the home's value and ensure they're not lending more than what the home is worth. When you put your property under contract, your lender is going to order an appraisal.
Inspector Butters is on the case, ma'am.
That appraisal is going to go out to the house. He's going to look at the house. He's going to pull all the properties that sold in that neighborhood, and he's going to say, this house is worth X amount of dollars. If you have a contract for more than the value of that appraisal, you're going to have a couple options. Number one, you're going to have to tell that seller to lower the price. Two, the seller can say, no, I ain't going to lower the price. And if they don't, then you have the option to pull out of that contract, assuming that you have an appraisal contingency in place. The appraisal is what you're going to use to ensure that you don't overpay for the property, and it makes sure that you're getting the best value for that home. Closing costs. Closing costs are the fees required to complete the real estate transaction. These are paid at closing. Ask your lender for a complete list of closing cost items, including points, taxes, title insurance, and more. One of the biggest questions that I get from my buyers is, what are closing costs? How much is closing costs? Like, how much is this actually going to cost me? One general rule of thumb that I like to use is 4%. I usually say you want to have at least 4% prepared for your closing costs. Depending on your loan program, whether you're using conventional or FHA, conventional is usually going to require about 5% down. FHA is going to require about 3.5% down. So if you're going FHA, I usually say save between 7.5% and 8% for your down payment and your closing costs. That way, if you don't get closing cost assistance from the seller and you don't have a down payment assistance program that you qualify for, you have enough money saved for your closing costs. Credit score. Credit score is a number ranging from 300 to 850 that's based on an analysis of your credit history. This helps lenders determine the likelihood you'll repay future debt. Credit scores are pretty easy. You want to have at least, for FHA, a minimum of 650 credit score. A minimum of 650 will leave you eligible for down payment assistance if you need it. Now, there are some lenders that can go to 580, but you don't really want those loans because they're super high interest and they're very risky loans. The general rule of thumb for home buying, the higher your credit score, the better. Down payment. Down payments are typically 3.5 to 20% of the home purchase price. Sometimes 0% down payment programs are also available. Ask your lender for more information about which one you may qualify for. Your down payment is going to be the initial amount of money that you're going to be putting towards the purchase of your house. And it goes towards the purchase of your house and actually counts as equity.
Get out of that sewage drain you call a city and start living the country life you've always wanted.
This is going to be you putting a little bit of money towards the property. This is the beauty of real estate because you only need 3.5% in order to leverage 100% of the property. Earnest money deposit. Your earnest money deposit is going to be the money that you put down in order to secure the transaction. In the United States, a real estate contract is not valid unless there's some sort of consideration being exchanged between the two parties of the contract. In real estate, that consideration is called EMD, or an earnest money deposit. Now, your earnest money deposit can be however much you want, but the higher your earnest money deposit, the more seriously your offer is going to be considered by the seller. Typically, $1,000 or 1% of the sale price is what I advise to my clients. Now, sometimes people say, oh, yo, can I just do 500? No, don't do 500. If you don't have $1,000, then you don't need to be buying a house. Your EMD should be at least $1,000, but at the best EMD is going to be 1% of the total sale price. And what that does is it holds the property in place. It lets the seller know that you're serious while you're doing your inspections, your appraisals, and your financing contingencies. Mortgage rate. Mortgage rates are the interest you pay to borrow the money when you're buying a home. As mortgage rates fluctuate, consult a lender so you can know how it would impact your monthly mortgage payment. Mortgage rates are going to differ from lender to lender. Well, Dan, why is that? They got to make a profit. Your goal is to save as much money as you can and keep as much money as you can in your pockets. That's why it behooves you, and I strongly encourage, to shop your mortgage lender. Some lenders are brokers, some lenders are just straight up in-house institutional lenders. You want to shop all of those people. I would strongly encourage you to only shop your rate 3 times. That's maybe your lender, maybe if your real estate agent has someone that they suggest, and then check out a credit union or your local credit union. No more than 3 over a 30-day period. That's going to affect your credit. Inspection contingency. Inspection contingencies are a provision in the contract requiring an inspection to be completed. This essential step gives you information on the home's condition and potential repairs. Most inspection contingencies are going to be between 3 and 5 days. This is a part of what we call your due diligence period. If for any reason during that 5 days, something comes up on the home inspection, you have the right to pull out of that contract and retain your earnest money deposit. If for any reason on the inspection, you pull out after the end of your contingency period, your earnest money deposit could be at risk.
Aw, man.
You want to make sure that the moment you get your contract accepted, you schedule your home inspection, you do your due diligence, you review the home inspection, and you get back with your agent ASAP so that if there's anything wrong with the home that you found on the home inspection, you have the right to pull out of that contract. Lastly, equity. Equity is the value of your home above the total amount of liens against your home. Many homeowners are realizing that they have more equity than they thought, and they're using it to move. Equity is the difference between what you owe and what you can sell it for. So if you owe $200 and you can sell it for $500, then your equity is $300. Now, your equity does go up over time. If the economy takes a dip, you can have negative equity. But over the long term, your home will appreciate in value. So I'm curious, what real estate terms are you interested in knowing? What do you hear all the time? And you're like, yo, what the heck is that? I'd love to know. Put it in the comments below. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, click the link below in my comments and let's schedule your free home buying consultation. I'm Dan the Realtor. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notifications button so that you're the first person to know when I drop new content. Regardless of whether they buy or rent. Thanks for jumping in. Maryland, your local Montgomery County. What's going on? My name is Dan Wheeler. Your local Montgomery County, Maryland. And make sure that you're getting the best value out of. And make sure.